Inflation. So, what is inflation? Inflation refers to the general increase in prices of goods and services over time, resulting in a decrease in the purchasing power of the currency. When inflation occurs, the same amount of money can buy you fewer goods and services than it could before. So, banks raise their interest rates to control inflation, which causes many issues for most people because their mortgages go up, the rent goes up, the cost of living goes up, making it quite difficult for them to keep up with the rising costs. So it's not really a great thing for most people. When I went to the bank the other day, I explained this to my 8-year-old boy, and I said, you know that £100 you got on your account, if you do nothing with it and leave it in a savings account, it will earn you 3% a year. In 10 years' time, assuming the inflation is at 10% per year, which it is right now, maybe 13, the hidden inflation, you will have no money left. The inflation monster has tricked you and eaten your cash away without you knowing about it. While you think you're getting 3% interest, you're actually losing 7% or maybe 10. And it kind of like, I think he got it. I had to sort of break a piece of paper, just drawn at £10. I broke into little pieces and just explained to him in a physical way. But he got the gist anyway. So managing inflation is a complex task that even the best governments or economics people, the best economics, face challenges in understanding it and controlling it. They don't really know how to. They've attempted to for many years. So it's a very complex beast to actually explain. Here on this video, I'm going to offer a reference from a perspective of a property investor, from the angle on how the inflation could benefit you and how you use that with property. So inflation increases the value of the property over time. As overall prices go up, they tend to go up, the rents tend to follow suit, and basically inflation just causes for the property prices to go up. Inflation also increases the cost of building new homes, which makes the cost of purchasing and renting it actually again higher. So the property values do go up with inflation. Now, another interesting thing is the debt value reduction. Now, what does that mean? It took me a while to get this one, but so inflation can erode the actual value of the debt over time. Property investors who have borrowed money to finance their purchases can benefit from this magic ingredient. As inflation occurs, the debt they owe remains fixed in a nominal term, but the real value decreases due to declining purchasing powers of the currency. This means investors can repay their debts using less valuable money over time. So think about it. If I borrowed £100,000 today and bought property and paid that £100,000 back in 30 years' time, that £100,000 in 30 years' time is not going to be worth what £100,000 is now, right? And for the next 30 years, I would have benefited from cash flow, capital growth, the value of the property increasing over time, and me, the ability to remortgage that as the value increase in property. I'm remortgaging and borrowing every like 4 years, every 3 years, whatever the interest goes up and down. So I'll be taking some money out and I pay no tax on it, right? And I'm paying back 100K in 30 years' time. Now, it takes you a while to get this, but that's the magical bit about it. Now, investing in property is a hedge against inflation. A lot of investors say that. So property is considered as a tangible asset that acts as as a hedge against inflation. Unlike cash or other specific financial instruments, property is real. That's why the Americans call it real estate, because it's real. You can touch it, you can go on it, you can actually go on it. You can add an extra bedroom and increase the value of the property. Or you can convert it from a normal home to a HMO, home of multiple occupancy, and put rented by the room. Therefore, you increase in the cash flow of the property. Or you can turn it into service accommodation and then rent it on Airbnb and Booking.com. or you can change, you can do something. We can go in there and add value to it. So that's the beautiful thing about it as well. So while inflation presents opportunities for property investors, it also comes with a lot of risks and challenges. Factors is like location. Where do you buy your properties? What are you going to do with it? Like, how much cash flow is it giving you? And Okay, so the most important thing that I'm trying to put across here is that when you're looking at long term on property investing, it really, really gives you a bigger picture of how inflation and the interest rate has an impact, right? So the higher the interest rates go, the higher the inflation is, therefore the value of your property goes up. So just understanding that, it gives you a frame on what's happening right now with interest rates going at 6%. People are going crazy. People are like, oh my God, interest rates are going up. There's going to be a crash. There's going to be this happening. All that stuff could happen. Anything could happen. No one knows the real thing about it. But over the long term, whether there is a crash or not, if you bought the right asset, even if the interest rates are higher, but you can have high cash flow producing properties. That's why I love holiday lets and service accommodation HMOs, because even though the interest rates are 6%, you will still make 15 to 20% on your money, so you can afford to pay that 6%. Okay, and when the interest rates go low, or the market recovers and it starts to go up, you're already in the market, you're already doing it. That's why I believe in the next 2 years, from all the people that I'm speaking to, all the really successful investors that really understand this, they're not worried about it. They just understand. They're excited. They're like, oh, see, we're getting ready. We're getting ready. We're getting ready. So I've spoken to like 4 or 5 people who have like over 100 properties, and they're like, we're getting ready. We've been buying. We're not going to stop buying. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing, because when we buy assets, we don't just buy any sort of house. We've got a plan. We know exactly how much money we're going to own these assets. Okay, the cost of borrowing is going to go higher, so will the rent go up? So basically, with this video, I'm just trying to attempt to explain what I think is going to happen, in the property market in the next 2 years, and just giving you a background about inflation. Hopefully, I have made that clear for you. But if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to make another video, or maybe write back to you. Thank you.